Greg, do you get any clarification on the Fernandez situation?
Yeah, just the number. The number had to be registered and changed in MLS, and I believe when that process, when he switches and changes numbers, there needs to be a registering from our side with the league to make sure all of that changes on our side. So that's been done now. It happened for Edwin just before the game, and so Edwin was fine. But with Diego, it was less clear because Diego was he was listed as 14 but wearing 21, whereas Edwin showed up as 6, and we already have a 6. So anyways, it got cleared up. Doesn't make it any better. It's something that should have been done and should have been handled a long time ago.
So, I mean, going forward, he's 21?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thoughts on facing, coming off to the game, what you like, and then looking ahead to San Jose here?
I thought in general the performance was professional. Again, having come off of 4 weeks without a really competitive game, I thought we did a good job of showing patience at the right times, not losing balls in front of our back line and between our line. I thought we were pretty diligent and clean in that aspect. I thought we had some good-looking attacks. I think we left a few things on the table where we just need to be a little bit more vertical with our running, and I think it will create a lot more space and opportunity for us. But I thought some of our possession and intent was good. Look, it's not always easy to play up a man for that long. If you see what happened in the Liverpool game this weekend, right, you see that it's not a given that you're going to go, one up down or one up and a man up and see that game out the way we were able to see it out pretty professionally. So I'm pleased with that. And defensively, I thought, again, it wasn't a game where there was a ton of defending in the set scenario because they didn't have a ton of possession on that side of things, but I thought we dealt with situations pretty well over the course of the night, given the fact that we had, some new guys in the back line, Maya getting integrated into the group, Edwin getting into the group. So I was pleased with some individual performances for sure. But I think all in all, it's a good first game back for us to build off of now going into San Jose.
What's the status of Jalen?
We're just trying to manage him into a good position where he can keep going. He's got, again, this like osteitis pubis, if you will, which is like a fatigue injury, and so it's trying to get that inflammation down in this area so that he feels free and when he moves. The issue is he might feel good for 15, 20, 30 minutes, but because of its fatigue, as he fatigues in the game, it starts to become more of an issue even through the course of a match. So we're trying to get him to a position where it's calmed down and he has freedom in his movement, right? He doesn't feel constrained, but also that, as the game progresses, he doesn't start to tighten up or get fatigued in that region. So we're hoping he feels a lot better today than he did even last week. So we're hoping that, this week that he'll progress. Not sure if it's for Wednesday, maybe for the weekend, hopefully, if again, he can continue to take steps forward. But he certainly felt a lot better today.
Is rest the only to recovery there? Or is it...
Yeah, I mean, there's other things that you can try to help, but in terms of like actual healing process, it's time, it's, anti-inflammatories, it's things like that. Sometimes they'll do like a cortisone or some sort of an injection into the area, but he did that a little bit in the past, but it's just rest a little bit. He's got to get that inflammation, calm that thing down, and once he does, I think he'll feel a lot better.
It's coming to like earlier today. It's like it's wild how things have changed so quickly with this team, and now you look at all the options you sort of have now. That makes your job a lot tougher, I assume. But it's good to have that depth on the back line
sure.
with Jalen out and Eric slid in there,
yeah.
And then Mavinga's back for this game here or there. So how do you approach Wednesday and Saturday?
Yeah, I think, on some level we want to create some consistency just because, again, we haven't played in a while, and so, but we do want to make sure that we have fresh legs and that we're good for both of those games. But I think it's a great thing for me in that we have options. We have guys who can help our team, guys who can make a difference both with and without the ball. Everybody wants to play all the time. That's where it becomes the challenge. It's not so much, not so much that we have good options now. It's the guys want to play and they want their opportunities out there to help the team. So finding the right balance in that and putting out groups each game that we feel can help us position ourselves over the long stretch to get results, and then guys who can see the game out and or get us across the finish line with 3 points at the end. It's just continuing to play that game after game.
This is the healthiest you guys have probably been all season.
Yeah, knock on wood. I think we're. I mean, considering the fact if you take our guys who are season-ending out of the equation, yeah, we're pretty healthy. I mean, we've had 4 weeks for guys to recover a bit, you know, and 5 weeks now, but like Mark to be able to get himself back into the rhythm and flow of things. So yeah, we're look, this is where you want to be down the stretch. Is you want to be as healthy as possible. You want to have as many options as possible, and so that's helpful now as we again start another busy week.
Thoughts on Edwin? Edwin tonight?
Yeah, I thought he was excellent. You know, I thought he was really excellent. I thought, you know, we gave him a role, and I thought he executed it really well. He stayed in those controlled defensive positions that helped us to control transitions, that helped us to keep control of a game that we didn't want it to get up and down, and especially as we went up a man, he just stayed in good disciplined positions where he can help us again control the transition moments, and he was nearly flawless with the ball. So, you know, when you have midfielders who are in front of the back line that don't lose the ball, then you're much more stable in terms of the transition moments, you know, because we just didn't lose things, as I said to you earlier. We just didn't lose things that put us into these really difficult crisis situations, and part of that was between he and Udi especially. They were really responsible and clean with the ball.
How does he play the position different than it's Gaston?
Yeah, Gaston likes to get involved in the attack. He wants to get forward. He wants to, you know, get himself a little higher. He wants to get involved in more phases of the game, whereas Edwin is very comfortable staying in kind of that discipline, control, sit behind the possession, make sure that if it turns over, I'm in a ball-winning position or to stop the counterattack against us or the transition. And he's content with that kind of sitting in front of that back line and dividing up the ball and just getting it to the next guy. Gaston came in, he has scored goals in our league. He feels, you know, and I agree with him, he feels like he can have more impact in the attacking side, as well as doing some more of the 8 work, the box to box, you know, give you something in the final action, but also still be able to recover and help you defend. Just gives him more responsibility over more of the field. And I feel like those two, Marky, Ricky, Danny, these guys are a good balance to one another, you know, whatever pairing we go with. And Udi is more of a traditional 6, a little bit like Edwin. And we use those two together, again, just to try to protect ourselves in the transition, give our fullbacks a little bit more freedom sometimes.
Your thoughts on San Jose?
Yeah, I mean, they're a good team. They're a good team that can hurt you. You know, Ebubisse is a handful up top. Both of their wingers are guys who can create a lot of danger. They have some power in the midfield in terms of you know, their possession and being able to manage the game in both directions. Again, for them, sometimes it's just a matter of its confidence and clarity and kind of where they are in a moment. So, and how they're feeling through the course of the game. If we can make the game difficult for them when they have the ball, and we can take our fair share of possession and punish them at the right times. And we got to manage their front 3 specifically. And their outside backs will get themselves into the attack, you know, and so you sometimes managing those numbers when they start overloading on those outsides. It's not miles different from what we see from a lot of teams. I believe in our league there's 3 to 5 sort of different ways that teams play, and you just kind of put them into groups. They're in one of those groups, again, 4-3-3 by and large, and good with the ball, get fullbacks going. And you got to deal with their wingers who are very good, and they got a striker who can get on the end of stuff. So we got to continue what we did the other night, and we've got to be even more disciplined, you know, obviously, and keep finishing attacks, keep scoring goals, and that helps everything out.